Tonight, a former WSU player settles a hefty lawsuit.
And on the 2-year anniversary of Freedom shooting, what changes since then? And what can you do to prevent a mass shooting?
Murrow News 8 starts now.
This is Murrow News 8.
Good evening, I'm Alou Santos.
And I'm John Lee. Welcome to Murrow News 8.
There was a shooting in 7 Mile area in northwest Spokane County yesterday. Spokane County Sheriff told KREM 2 News that one person was shot and a second one was detained. The victim is in the hospital with no update about their health status. Authorities are investigating the incident. We have continued coverage of the former police officer on trial for sexual assault. Noah Schmick has details from the courtroom yesterday.
The prosecution painted a detailed picture for the jurors involved in the sexual misconduct case against a former Pullman police sergeant. Dan Hargraves is charged with custodial sexual misconduct after an incident with a WSU freshman last March. According to court documents, the young woman involved had been drinking at several different parties around the Greek Row area. Hargraves noticed the woman stumbling around and ended up giving her a ride back to her dorm at Dunkin' Dunn. Then, just before 1 a.m., cell phone locations showed that the woman left her dorm for the third time and was supposedly picked up by Officer Hargraves to be booked into jail. Court documents say she told Hargraves that she would do anything to not be arrested. That's when her cell phone location tracked her to Rainey Park. The woman and Hargraves allegedly engaged in a sexual act before she was dropped off at Rogers Hall, where her friends were waiting for her. Witnesses who took the stand on Wednesday and Thursday include the victim's friends and police officers who were on duty that night. The trial is expected to continue into next week with a DNA analyst and video evidence still to be presented. Noah Schmick for Murrow News Service.
A local development submitted plans for mixed-use development in downtown Pullman. Mike Yates intends to construct a 6-story building on Paradise and Daniel Streets called Paradise Lofts. The project needs the conditional use permit from the city as the structure would have more housing units and would be 3 feet taller than what the current city code allows. The city of Pullman will hold a public hearing regarding the permit application on Monday.
Former Spokane Meals on Wheels bookkeeper Michelle Farrell was sentenced to 3 years in federal prison, according to KREM 2. Farrell embezzled almost $100,000 from the organization after she's released. She will serve 3 years of court supervision and pay the same amount stolen in restitution.
The city of Pullman has agreed to pay $150,000 to former WSU football player. The settlement comes after the player claimed excessive force was used when he was arrested. The case started in February 2017 when the player Trishan Broughton was inside a convenience store near WSU campus. Video of the arrest shows an officer wrap his arm around Broughton's neck, and then he is taken to the ground, twice kicked the net, then shot with a stun gun. Broughton was arrested, but the charge were later dropped. Document of the arrest said that Broughton tried to use a fake $20 bill. Office did not find anything on him when he was arrested.
The Washington Center for Real Estate Research released its statewide housing numbers for the second quarter. Whitman County home prices have decreased about 9% from this time last year. The good news is the average price for a house in Whitman County is worth around $288,000, which is a 7% increase from a year ago.
The suspect from 4th of July shooting at Coeur Lane City Park was arrested twice in a 24-hour period and is currently in the Kootenai County Jail, according to the police. Tyler Rambo was arrested Wednesday night on drug charges. He later bonded out and was arrested again. Rambo is facing several charges from the 4th of July incident, including attempted murder and aggravated assault.
Voters in Pullman School District will consider 3 tax measures on the ballot this winter. According to Pullman Radio News, a $50 million bond will help pay for the expansion of Lincoln Middle School. If approved, a homeowner of a $250,000 home would pay $20 extra in taxes per year. In addition to that measure, there's also a 4-year maintenance and operation tax measure, along with a 4-year technology levy to consider.
The city of Moscow announced that dangerous levels of toxin in Hortman Pond. Moscow Parks and Recreation Assistant Director David Schock tells the Daily Evergreen that 2 types of algae in the pond have put in at levels that make the water unsafe for recreational use. Schock wants people to stay away from the water and will have further discussion with the Idaho Departmental Quarry to determine a solution.
Yesterday, the Trump administration gained another win in the war against illegal immigration. The Supreme Court allowed the Trump administration to bar most Central American migrants from seeking asylum in the United States. This is the second time the Supreme Court has allowed the Trump administration to continue their efforts to stop illegal immigration across the southern border. In July, the court allowed the administration to begin using $2.5 billion in Pentagon money for the construction of a barrier along the Mexican border.
The music industry lost an icon today. 70s and 80s rocker Eddie Money passed this morning after a battle with cancer. He canceled his 2019 summer tour earlier this year after developing pneumonia following heart surgery. Money is best known for his 2 hits, The 2 Tickets to Paradise and Take Me Home Tonight. He was 70 years old.
It's like Earth, except it's about 110 light years away. Scientists discovered a planet outside our solar system that could be sustainable for human life. The planet has temperatures similar to Earth and even has water vapor in its atmosphere. According to Krem News, it's currently the only exoplanet known to meet both those criteria. Habitat is still questionable. The planet is located in the Leo constellation. When we come back, we'll take a look at the weekend forecast.
And WSU scientist wants you to meet Ryan when Murrow News 8 returns.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Days, months,
Hey, I'm Jim from across the street.
years,
I'd like to give you this.
a lifetime can rush by without realizing what we're missing. We lose some of the best moments, some that may never repeat,
Come on.
or detach from people around us. Our loved ones grow used to this pattern, but it doesn't have to be that way. We have a choice to take action. It's never too late to live a full life again. Hear how many of us Vietnam veterans have managed our mental health and reconnected with our families. Visit maketheconnection.net to find out more.
I'll never forget the day our landlord called and said, read your lease. No pets allowed. My owner tells him my dog ate the lease, but that didn't work. And now I'm stuck in a shelter. But this pit bull is ready for a new crib. I'm loving, loyal, and play well with others. So don't be intimidated by all my muscles, because the biggest one I have is my heart. That's right, I said it.
Welcome back to Murrow News 8. I'm Malou Santos. The weekend's here and we want to know what the weather is going to bring. We'll go ahead and see what Logan Plant has in store for us.
Thanks, Malou. It's really blustery on the walk to campus this morning. Maybe some of you out there experienced that too. Don't worry though, that's a trend that's going to go down over the weekend. This morning though, we did see winds up to 10 miles an hour. Pretty warm today and over the weekend, 73 degrees. And at night tonight after the Coug game, it'll get down to around 52. So if you go out to celebrate after a Cougar victory maybe, just make sure you bring along a jacket. And the sun's going to set tonight at around 7:05 p.m. Let's take a look at tomorrow. Tomorrow we're looking at pretty similar weather to today, highs in the mid-70s and lows around 50 degrees. Like I said, that wind is really going to calm down from about 10 miles an hour winds to 5 miles an hour. And the sun's going to set at 7:03 p.m. And as we get further into fall, the sun's just going to keep setting earlier and earlier, so get ready for that. And let's look across the state now. Over on the west side, we're seeing temperatures in the low 70s. And lows in the high 50s. A little bit of rain this weekend over on the west side, as you'd expect as we get closer to fall. Over here in central Washington, pretty high temperatures over the weekend, 83 degrees in the Tri-Cities and 78 degrees in Yakima. So if you're traveling to Yakima this weekend, bring some clothes for some warmer weather. And then over here on our side of the state, we have 74 degrees in Spokane and similar in Pullman. 5-day forecast now. On Wednesday, it's going to start getting a little bit rainy, 74 degrees, but later in the week, those temperatures are definitely going to go down. This weekend and the middle of the next week is in the mid-70s, but after that, it's going to drop to the 60s. So we can see here, small chance of rain later in the day over the weekend, but then by the middle of next week, we're definitely going to be seeing some showers. So when you're headed to campus, make sure to bring a rain jacket. So enjoy the warmer weather this weekend. We'll send it back to you at the desk.
Oh, looks like I got to bust out those umbrellas. After more than a decade of work, WC researchers feel positive about this project's potential. Celeste Harms has a story about what the project is and what the food is best used for.
On the back side of Ferdinand's Ice Cream Shop is the USDA Western Wheat Quality Laboratory. Behind these doors, you can find Ryan. Not a person, but a wheat crop.
The best thing about Ryan is it's an absolute great variety for farmers. Yields very, very well, has great disease resistance, but it also has really good traditional soft white quality, which is cookies and cakes and pastries.
Researchers first began experimenting with Ryan here about 15 years ago. It took several years before they began to understand the wheat's unique properties. Ryan is best when combined with a bit of water and some salt, mixed together, pressed into a dough, run through a machine that presses the dough over and over and over, and finally cut into thin strands to make the perfect udon noodle.
Part of the thing that makes Ryan wheat so special is how the noodles turn out. There's two qualities they look for. One is this really smooth texture, and the other thing is the bright, bright color that's perfect for udon noodles.
People often use the word serendipitous about this variety because, you know, it all lined up just perfectly. More and more people want to grow it. It's a matter of generating enough seed to really get it on more and more acres. And I see a lot of promising potential in our trade relationships.
Celeste Harms, Murrow News 8.
The Democratic debate, edition 3, aired on ABC last night. One thing became clear: the candidates are not holding back anymore. Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders, and Elizabeth Warren teed off about health care. Sanders and Warren fought in favor of Medicare for all, claiming that it will lower health care expenses for the middle class. Biden made it clear that he sees this as a financially improbability. The Globes came off on Julian Castro attacked Biden's age by asking him if he was forgetting things from earlier in this debate. Pete Buttigieg called this debate unwatchable. Castro responds with, quote, "Yeah, that's a Democratic primary election, Pete," end quote. Finally, candidate Kamala Harris threw a jab at President Trump, telling him he can go back to watching Fox News for her closing line. The president called the debate uninspiring.
Gun control became a hot topic during the debate with Beto O'Rourke. He said, quote, "Hell yes, we're going to take your AR-15s, your AK-47s," end quote. This statement received applause from the debate but met backlash on social media. Texas State Representative Bisco Kane fired back on Twitter saying, "My AR is ready for you, Robert Francis," which is Beto O'Rourke's legal name. O'Rourke's hometown is El Paso, Texas, the location of the shooting which took the lives of 22 people last month.
A new owner of Cougar Country Drive-In finished the remodeling. However, they are having an issue to find new employees. Mike Wagner told Crampton News that the struggle is finding applicants who can fill all shifts, not just weekends. Cougar County already hired a few employees for the drive-in, but still needs to find a full crew who can take care of daytime shift. Wagner also said to check their Facebook homepage for the opening date.
When we come back, we'll take a look at sports this weekend and the WSU football game tonight.
When Murrow News 8 returns.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly and put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
You can achieve a lot using your imagination. I mean, I don't like to brag, but... Wait, who's that? And why is she all over these achievement awards? But with STEM, the sky's the limit. Shaboom! Use STEM to envision... Okay, I'm seeing it. Yeah! Invent...
Got any ideas?
I've got a few, actually. And create a better world.
Told you she's super smart.
If she can STEM, so can you. Find out more at She Can STEM.
And welcome back. My name is Corbin White, and here is your sports news for the day. Cougar basketball is just a couple months away. WSUCougars.com recently released the schedule for the upcoming season. The season begins at Beasley Coliseum on November 7th as the Cougs take on Seattle University. The two teams met last year in Seattle. The Cougs lost that game 69-78. Pac-12 play will begin the first week of January when USC and UCLA come to Pullman. The Huskies visit on Sunday, February 9th. Kyle Smith is replacing Ernie Kent at head coach this season, and he'll have returning sophomore C.J. Ellaby in the rotation along with a handful of newcomers. The Mariners lost 11-5 last night to the Cincinnati Reds, but it wasn't a complete loss. Kyle Lewis became the second player in Major League history to hit a home run in each of the first 3 games of his career. Lewis has been a highly touted prospect in the Mariners organization since he was selected 11th overall in 2016. The Mariners play the White Sox tonight at T-Mobile Park. WSU soccer at home this weekend. The Cougs are playing the Michigan Wolverines on Friday and the Loyola Marymount Lions on Sunday at the Lower Soccer Field in Pullman. The Cougars have won their first 4 games of the season. WSU head coach Todd Schulenberger told the Daily Evergreen, "We're fit, we're hungry, we're ready for the 180-plus minutes of soccer this weekend." Cougs versus Cougs tonight. Cougar football Saturday was bumped up this Friday, this week, and Mike Leach's Cougs are down in Texas for the last game before Pac-12 play begins. WSU's Cougars, who are 2-0, are facing off against the Houston Cougars, who are 1-1. The game is in Houston tonight at the same stadium the NFL's Houston Texans play in. WSU's head coach Mike Leach has this to say about tonight's game.
They run it more than they throw it. They have quite a bit of speed out there at a number of positions. including the quarterback, who's a very quick guy.
The Cougars were 5-1 on the road last season. Angels two-way sensation Shohei Ohtani is out for the rest of the season. ESPN reports Ohtani will undergo knee surgery to repair a rare congenital condition. Ohtani says he felt discomfort as he continued to ramp up his bullpen sessions in recent weeks. Ohtani has not pitched since last year, being limited to a designated hitter this season after undergoing Tommy John surgery over the offseason. The Angels hope Ohtani can finish his throwing program later this fall. Those aren't the only competitions for Cougs to follow this weekend. A regional esports event is coming to Pullman on Saturday. Logan Plant has more on this weekend's Super Smash Bros. Tournament.
In the heart of downtown Pullman, in the back room of Palouse Games, a small group of passionate fighting game fans meet once a week to hone their skills. They're playing Super Smash Bros. Melee, a game released for the Nintendo GameCube back in 2001. The game is over 18 years old, but people still play it competitively today on their old CRT TVs. In fact, this weekend, the WSU Smash Bros. Club is hosting Beak Bonk, a big regional tournament that has the chance to help the club expand.
I think it gives us a lot of exposure, especially happening so early in the year is crucial for getting freshmen involved, and freshmen are the key, and this tournament I think will help catch the attention of a lot of freshmen, make us seem a little more serious, all that good stuff.
Gamers will bring their copies of Smash Brothers, Nintendo Switches, and GameCubes here to the Resonant Church location on Saturday. The club usually holds tournaments on campus, but they're using the Resonant Church office to accommodate the expected 75 to 100 entrants. The gang at Palouse Games is practicing Smash Bros. Melee, but the tournament will also include Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, the newest entry in the series that launched on Nintendo Switch last December. The event kicks off on Saturday at 10 a.m., with online registration ending tonight at midnight. Back at Palouse Games, the Melee crowd is excited for the future of the game they all love.
I've just always loved Smash Bros. Ever since I was introduced to it in a competitive sense, and I just hope it keeps growing and gets bigger and bigger on a national level, more than just local.
Logan Plant, Murrow News 8.
When we come back, the new outbreak that's got students concerned.
And what you should do in the event of mass shooting. Stick around.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly.
Lights out. Good night.
And put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
You can achieve a lot using your imagination. I mean, I don't like to brag, but... Wait, who's that? And why is she all over these achievement awards? But with STEM, the sky's the limit. Shaboom! Use STEM to envision... Okay, I'm seeing it. Yeah. Invent...
Got any ideas?
I've got a few, actually. And create a better world.
Told you she's super smart.
If she can STEM, so can you. Find out more at She Can STEM.
Welcome back. I'm Lou Santos. Cougar Health Services issued a warning of head lice. According to the Delhi Evergreen, students should consider treatment if they shared a bed, been in close contact to, or shared hats or scrunchies with someone who has had head lice. The CDC recommends washing and soaking infected items in water hotter than 128 degrees. If items cannot be washed, place them in sealed plastic bags for 2 weeks. Lice treatment can be found in most pharmacy stores across the nation. Today marks 2 years since the shooting at Freeman High School, located about an hour away in Rockford, Washington. 15-year-old Caleb Sharp opened fire in the upstairs hallway at the school, killing 1 and injuring 3 others. The Spokesman Review says that Sharp, now 17, is being tried as an adult for first-degree murder, attempted murder, and 51 counts of second-degree assault for the students that prosecutors say were in danger. There is a candlelight vigil tonight at Kent Smith Field to honor the lives that are affected.
Would you know what to do if there was a mass shooter on campus? Murrow News 8 Corbin White talked to WSU Campus Police to find out.
Campus Police Assistant Chief Steve Hansen says mass shootings are not going away anytime soon.
Now you're seeing sometimes 2 a week. There's no real motivation out there. They're all different.
According to the Associated Press, a 19-year-old North Carolina University student planned on killing his roommate and himself if he failed to get into a fraternity. He reportedly studied mass shootings. Hansen says you can run, hide, or fight in a mass shooter situation. If you're in a classroom, barricade the doors. Flee the scene if it is safe to do so. If you must fight, arm yourself with sharp or heavy objects. Experts say in the event of a mass shooting, it's smart to arm yourself with whatever is at your disposal. And that would include fire hydrants or what you happen to be sitting on. But are students ready for this?
I'm not ready for it. Either follow other students or dead.
WSU Campus Police actively prevent mass shootings.
There had been a post about somebody showing with a weapon and stuff, and we followed that up all night long. If we did not have it solved or know that there was no longer a threat, then the decision would have been made whether or not to have classes.
There are videos and other resources on police.wsu.edu under active shooter resources. Corbin White, Murrow News 8.
We'll be right back.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly and put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.